first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. First. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tight, Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day is giving thanks to God, giving praises to God, asking for God's blessings, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and let's go. Man, you okay? I'm just sending a virtual hug and a lot of love to our KBLA delegation. I know so many folks going through it, whether it's directly or indirectly, due to these fires and what's going on in Washington and just a lot right now. But, we're here for you. If you want to talk, give me a call. My phone lines are always open, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. This week and last, we've had so many of our guests who were meant to be here who've had to cancel because of evacuations, and including one guest, the woman we had planned for the final hour of the show today, her second evacuation, during which obviously she's not able to be here. So prayers going up to you, to our guests, to each other. And I'm so proud of the way Southern California is standing together during these times. And I'm proud of our nation. I'm proud of Black people. Despite the conversation yesterday about what's happening with hip hop and whether or not Snoop should have done what Snoop did or this or that, the vast majority of Black folks, including community-based organizations and regular friends, families, and neighbors, are really doing our best to take care of each other. And I think that is a beautiful thing. So it's Thursday, and this is how we do the show on Thursdays. Hour one, we look to the left coast, what's going on around here, this part of town. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person of interest or a hot topic. I'm really looking forward to the conversation in hour three today with Isaac Hayes III. Of course, he is the founder of Fanbase, but also quite an interesting fellow and activist in his own right. So, there's a lot going around about how they're now, Meta at least, is now forcing you to follow J.D. Vance and Trump and stuff. And he's the one, I think, that really sounded the alarm about that. Now it's everywhere. And I checked my IG, and sure enough, I was following J.D. Vance, and I'm not talking about the POTUS account. I mean the VP account, because that always happens, right? They transfer over, they keep all the VP's followers, and they give them to the new VP on that account. I'm talking about J.D. Vance's own account. So that was weird. I unfollowed it. I guess I should check again, because several of my peeps have unfollowed and then found the algorithm had made them refollow. So this is just one of the things that Isaac Hayes III had informed us about. Looking forward to that conversation. As I said, you're always welcome in here. The air quality has gone worse again. Not that it was much better, but you can smell it a little bit more in the air as the Hughes fire has burst out into a bigger fire and a red flag warning. We were supposed to be out of that today for those winds and such, but it has been extended into today. And this is the red flag warning, of course, means those winds are whipping up the fire, which makes it spread very quickly. More evacuations in that area north of Castaic, and the evacuations and road closures continue to hold in that area. And of course, as I've been reading these air quality experts, it's mostly impactful if you're right there, but because of the winds, these toxic tiny particles that you can't even see, and chemical gases and other kinds of damaging substances in the air can fan out throughout the region. So I was kind of stressed out because I forgot my mask on the way to work today. I'm wearing one. When those particles go into your lungs, it can cause strokes, like long-term lung damage, all kinds of coughs and lung dis-ease. And of course, there's a super pneumonia going around. So if you can protect your lungs, if you got one of those tighter fitting, like the N95 masks, it's best to wear that outside if you can, even if you don't smell smoke or see smoke. Stroke is not something any of us wants to deal with. And if you got asthma or whatever, it's even worse. And apparently, because of the winds, this can extend far and wide around the state of California. So just taking care of ourselves and each other. LA Times is reporting so far $350 million in damage to public facilities alone here in LA due to these fires. So we're not out of the woods. The good news is, at least what's being reported, is that we're meant to have a tiny sprinkle of rain over the weekend, maybe 1/10 of an inch, which hopefully won't cause mudslides, although I know that emergency responders are stacking up those sandbags and stuff. So we're looking at, probably enough to at least bring up the humidity, which would help to stop the spread of fires, but not enough to put anything out, and hopefully not enough to cause those mudslides and such. So the resources continue to grow. They continue to be shifting. And so what I would suggest is, if you hear about something, a distribution center or any kind of service that you're looking for, I would check and make sure that center is still operating. Between the shifting winds, the changing needs, and the orders of law enforcement, things are constantly fluid on the ground. And we'll continue to update the information that we're giving you, but sometimes things are moving so fast that it is impossible. It's almost impossible to keep up in real time. So the suggestion is that you check and double check. I will be back at the Pasadena church on Saturday. I'll be there for a panel discussion, which I'll be moderating. It won't be live on the air, but I will be doing some IG Live, and you can come in person. All are welcome. It is free. It's at that church that's called the Pasadena Church, 425 North Villa, Sierra Madre Villa in Pasadena, starting at 2:30. And it's called Eaton Canyon Fire Legal Aid, what you need to know. So not just the, food, clothing, and that kind of stuff, but the legal pieces. Your mortgage, your rights, all of that. It's hosted by the Law Office of Bradley Gage, and it's going to give you guidance on resources, legal rights and resources that are available to people impacted by these fires. 3 20-minute presentations focused on legal aid, then a Q&A session. We are going to live stream it, apparently, and because a lot of people from Altadena, Pasadena are not in Altadena, Pasadena right now. They are wherever they went to stay with family So everyone can participate. You'll be able to ask questions even online. And we're doing that starting 2:30 on Saturday at the Pasadena Church. James Farr, a community activist and a KBLA contributor, is helping to organize that along with the law offices of Bradley Gage. So hope to see you there if you need the help, and hope that you'll listen in if you do not need the help because, or if you need the help and you're not in the area. Because we have to also spread the good information. Although there's a lot of people stepping up, there is some dis and misinformation online and people trying to take advantage and pimp these tragedies. And so we're being mindful, making sure if you give to a GoFundMe that it's been verified by one of these organizations like Pasadena Community Coalition or Neighborhood Servants, or one of the churches that has stepped up, and making sure that it's not somebody who put up a GoFundMe on behalf of someone that they don't even know. They're not part of that family. In fact, there's a Google Doc, and we'll post that on KBLA 1580 today, of verified Black families GoFundMes that are vetted, and we know for sure they're real and actual GoFundMes. If you missed in my podcast, like the broadcast we did from the Pasadena Church, the remote broadcast, or any of the resource conversations, including artist Martine Sims, who shared some really interesting outreach and mutual aid among artists. You can find them all wherever you get your podcasts. You can find them on YouTube, and on the pods and the link and the YouTube broadcasts, I always put the links to the resources that guests offer when they come on. So if you heard something, circle back to YouTube. It's the KBLA 1580 YouTube. Circle back to wherever you get your pods, including on the KBLA 1580 app, where we have our pods available for free. They're free wherever you find them. Those links for aid and help and ways to volunteer, they're all there with the podcast as well. As usual, we're streaming on YouTube right now at KBLA 1580 on youtube.com, and you can call that old-fashioned landline. It still works. Still one of the most reliable ways to talk, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580, and tap in on socials at KBLA 1580 or my personals at DiPrima Radio on all platforms. And yes, I did join Fanbase. I wasn't going to have Isaac Hayes III on and not be on Fanbase, so we handled that. All right, we got a lot to talk about, and you are welcome in. Trump's coming to Cali tomorrow. What does it mean for our state? KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Now that Donald J. Trump has begun a second term as president, please join the Empowerment Congress and KBLA Talk 1580 to examine the question, where do we go from here? Chaos or democracy? At the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. This Saturday, January 25th, some of LA's top elected officials, Representative Sidney Kamlager-Dove, Assembly members Isaac Bryan and Sade El-Hawari will be on hand for what promises to be a lively and informative conversation. Doors open at 8 a.m. The general session, moderated by Tavis Smiley and broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580, begins at 9 a.m. The event is free, but seating is limited. Registration is required. Go to the Empowerment Congress website at www.empowermentcongress.org to register. Where do we go from here? Chaos or democracy? Join the Empowerment Congress and KBLA Talk 1580 this Saturday, January 25th. Doors open at 8 a.m. The free program starts at 9 a.m. Registration is required at www.empowermentcongress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Fabrice.
Fabric Talk.
Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Fabrice Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Can your pad absorb everything and stay fresh? Always Radiant with Flex Foam can. Get up to 0 leaks, 0 odor, and 0 feel. Because Flex Foam is the only pad with a flexible foam core. You heard me, foam. Always Radiant is so thin, it feels like nothing, yet protects like nothing else. Can your pad do that? For up to 100% leak-free protection, try Always Radiant to see what Flex Foam can do for you.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Your ancestors' favorite radio station. And your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, I had a friend text me on yesterday, checking on me as these fires continue to flare up. You know, folks in Northern California and on the East Coast, if you don't know, they think all of LA is on fire, and it kind of does feel like it. He texted me, the world is on fire because Satan is in charge. But it is, I mean, the biggest, one of the biggest or most active, I guess, volcanoes in the world has erupted. That happened yesterday. It started to erupt December 23rd. It does feel very fire and brimstone-y, but I think it's, important to remember. Trouble don't last always. We were built for this, and we will get through this together. And I know it sounds like a slogan, we keep us safe, but it's true. If ever there was a time to get to know your neighbors, it's now. Controversy, of course, about the notifications that went out, those evacuation notifications, fire warning, fire danger warnings that are usually sent out through text alerts. The county emergency system, city has one too, did not go off in a timely manner for Altadena. It was a predominantly black neighborhood. And now folks are asking why. Now, I didn't realize when we broadcast from there last week on Thursday that it was so widespread. But the people I was talking to, many of them said they did not get alerts at all. And that's very, very troubling because, some folks almost died because of that, right? It's real scary. And now we find out it was pretty widespread. Martin Gordon, the former Black Panther, well, I should say Black Panther, because once a Black Panther, always a member of the Black Panther Party. Martin Gordon was in his home, and he never got any notification. He lives in Altadena. His significant other called him and said, "Hey, I'm seeing this on the news, get out." And luckily he listened to her, and literally it was a matter of minutes before his house was consumed in fire. So now Supervisor Barger and others are calling for an investigation into why was the predominantly black neighborhood not notified? What is that? And like I said, I didn't do an investigation, but a number of people that I've talked to say exactly this. 17, if I believe we're at 27 deaths now. 17 happened in Altadena, Pasadena. Why is that? That's a big percentage. of the people. And according to LA Times, most of those happen in the area that we know to be mostly black. They didn't get an evacuation order until 3:30 in the morning, 9 hours after that fire started burning. They didn't get any evacuation warnings, even though there were little fires going on in the area west of Lake Avenue, which I guess is the boundary, those Altadena, Pasadena boundaries. And the thing is, when fire is moving that fast with winds up to 100 miles an hour, where it's like a blowtorch, you have to move quickly. And a minute or 2 minutes, certainly a half an hour, can make the difference between life and death, between you being able to get out any of your things, pets, etc., or not. According to the LA Times, all of the known deaths from the fire, the Eaton Canyon Altadena fire, happened west of North Lake Boulevard. Our area, which is, again, where the evacuation order didn't go out until 3:30 in the morning, and in some cases later, and as in the case of Martin Gordon, never. So, according to the Times, witnesses say there were some sheriffs driving around at 2 in the morning telling people to flee. But we don't know if that was one guy, one deputy driving around saying, okay, everyone else has been evacuated. Let me just drive around. We don't know. And it's troubling. So another thing to track, 9,000 structures in Altadena. Most of those were homes. And again, the highest home ownership rate in the nation for black people. 80% of black folks in Altadena owning their own homes. Rodney Nickerson, who died in Altadena, black man died in Altadena. His family is saying that they were trying to get him to leave and he wouldn't leave, but they believe he would have left had he gotten an official evacuation order. That didn't happen. So, an investigation, but, it's just tragic. And it adds to the terribleness of the damage to Altadena, Pasadena. Hopefully that'll be fixed. It's just insane. That fire by now is almost entirely contained, by the way. And it is the Hughes fire that is the scariest one right now. Although Palisades continues to burn the... it's just now. And then the Sepulveda fire, that's another one. So the Eaton fire is now at 95% containment. That's the Alta Pasadena one. That Sepulveda fire what I'm seeing, no containment. So that's not good. And it's a smaller fire, but Palisades now at 72%, which is a pretty big improvement, even amid these terrible winds. So once again, gratitude to our firefighters, and that for them to be so spread out over so much area. The Hughes fire is now at 14% containment, but doubled in such a short amount of time. And that one still with a lot of evacuations. So the president of the United States, y'all know who I'm talking about, he'll be here on Friday to survey the damage. And I'm sure talk a lot of smack, just as he was at the inauguration, pointing fingers. That comforter-in-chief role, that's gone. On Sunday, he did say he was praying for the survivors. And He'll help rebuild the city more beautiful than ever, but also at the same time, with the other hand, or the other side of his mouth saying that they want to withhold aid and making up stories like residents of Beverly Hills were restricted to 38 gallons of water a day, which is, I don't know where he pulled that out of, some orifice, because it's absolutely not true. It's never been true. The residents of Beverly Hills would not survive on 38 gallons a day of water because they're the ones with these lush lawns, swimming pools, and multiple luxury cars that need to be washed. There is no restriction. There is no water limit. It's going around. It's one of those clips that's going around on social media. And, I remind us the man does make things up. So he'll be here to drive around and do what he does. So expect terrible traffic tomorrow. That's one thing you can definitely expect if you're in the Pasadena, Palisades. Who knows where he's going to go? There's many active fires right now. But I would imagine, Palisades for sure, definitely. He will be touring Pasadena, Altadena, pointing fingers, doing what he does. So brace yourself for that, even as the state attorney general has said, well, you know what? Rob Bonta is saying that because the administration is now threatening our elected officials, if they follow our state law says they can't use our resources to cooperate with ICE and turn immigrants over to ICE. But now the administration is threatening to investigate our elected officials if they don't help them deport people. It's given Banana Republic. News, traffic, and sports, then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. President Trump is defending the almost 1,500 pardons given to defendants charged in connection to the January 6th Capitol attack. In an interview with Fox News, Trump said that most of the people were absolutely innocent and that they have served horribly a long time. The House has passed the Lake and Riley Act. The legislation was passed Wednesday, aiming to clamp down on illegal immigrants who commit nonviolent crimes like theft. It will be the first bill sent to President Trump to sign into law after returning to the White House. House Speaker Mike Johnson is announcing the creation of a new subcommittee to investigate the January 6th Capitol riot. The Louisiana Republican said in a statement, the subcommittee's mission is to uncover the full truth that is owed to the American people. And the nominees for this year's iHeartRadio Music Awards have been unveiled. Fans can vote for their favorites online at iHeartRadio.com/awards through March 10th. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Del Taco's new Chipotle Chicken Burrito and Bean Rice and Cheese Burrito, packed with flavor, made with fresh ingredients, and found on Del's Real Deals menu. You heard that right. These burritos on a value meal with everything under $3. Look at Del Taco, hooking us up.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A very short-handed Clippers team put up a strong battle Wednesday night against the defending NBA champion Boston Celtics. The Clippers took the Celtics to overtime before losing 117-113 at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. 29 points for Clippers forward Derrick Jones Jr. The Clippers played without Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Ivica Zubac, Norman Powell, Chris Dunn, and Nicholas Batum. Not much rest for the Celtics. They play the Lakers tonight at Crypto. The USC women's basketball team, ranked 4th in the country, had no trouble at Purdue Wednesday night. The Trojans held Purdue to 2 points in the second quarter, en route to a 79-37 win. 14 straight win for the Trojans. Guard Avery Howell led the Trojans with 18 points off the bench. Juju Watkins had 16. The Trojans are 18-1, 8-0 in the Big Ten. UCLA's women's basketball team, number 1 in the country, is at Rutgers tonight. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
I feel so alone.
I'm embarrassed to talk about it.
How can I help my kid if I can't help myself?
I can't remember when I wasn't stressed.
I don't like
all inside.
When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts and emotions, it's okay to get help. You are not alone. CalHope is here for you with free, safe, and confidential mental health resources for youth, young adults, families, and you. Find support now at calhope.org.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-511-2112. That's 800-511-2112. 800-511-2112.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you. I do appreciate you, and I welcome you into the conversation. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So whenever my people don't make it, I worry right now. You know, typically it's like, are they evacuated? Are they okay? We're breathing, and we're taking care of each other. It's Oscar nominations day. They were delayed twice by the fires, but they were announced today. And I actually don't feel that as interested as usual. I hate to say that, just because, there's so much else going on in the world. It feels rather dire. I'm actually praying much more than normal, and that's a good thing. And but I will say that I was surprised that Denzel didn't get any love. Denzel Washington dissed again. Did not get a supporting Oscar supporting nod for supporting actor, I should say, for Gladiator 2. No love. We can talk more about that if you want to. You can call me 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. And I try to find things that we can be joyous together about without being insensitive in this time when a lot of folks are struggling, whether you're impacted by the fires or not. For me, one of the biggest parts, aside from watching my friends and loved ones losing what they have and trying to figure out how to hold on to their resources, as I've said, watching folks step up and help each other really makes a difference. I should just tell you that the Flint Ridge Center is no longer acting as a hub So again, you might want to go to Santa Anita. It's constantly changing, but folks are stepping up, young people and elders, everybody. I find for me, one of the things I'm struggling with is this disorientation with having Trump as president again. It's not that I didn't think it was a possibility or that I was delusional like many people about what he would do. I did expect them to move quickly because I was tracking Project 2025, and I knew that they were prepared, much more prepared than the first time when, he didn't think he had any chance of winning. They're much more prepared now, and I expected there to be fast and uncomfortable changes. But what I don't think I was prepared for is the cognitive dissonance of living through a rerun that's not a rerun, of having to... It's like you lived through 4 years, and now you're back. It's the opposite of Sankofa. Sankofa, you go back and get it. You look back to go forward. Now we're looking forward, but we're going back. It's something that I can't say on the radio, Kofa. And it's not good. We're built for this. We can deal with this. I know we can get through it, just like I have to tell myself that every day, and perhaps that's what we have to do. Our ancestors overcame worse than this. These people are incompetent, greedy, and self-interested, so perhaps that will slow down some of these changes. And I'm finding that that's a bigger deal than I thought it would be psychologically. Like, I have trouble even saying President Trump. And Tavis was talking yesterday about how it was reported, widely reported, that the CNN bosses came in and told the anchors and reporters, don't talk smack about Trump, give him a chance, et cetera, and blah, blah, blah. We've seen all of the tech giants come to heel. And you saw them lined up like little minions, billionaire minions, at the inauguration. So we know that there will be much less resistance or even real reporting. And I would have known that meeting had happened without seeing that meeting. You can hear it in the way the anchors and reporters are talking. And it's kind of sending out a warning and a chill, I think, to all media, right? You are under scrutiny. This guy's so petty that he will go after the smallest person. Like, think about Keisha Lance Bottoms, who he fired even though she had already quit. That means he was ruminating. He was stewing. He was mad at the former mayor of Atlanta. I fire you. Joker, I quit weeks ago. What are you talking about? That is petty and vengeful, right? And now the way that he's going after the pastor who dared to ask him for mercy for LGBTQ plus folks and immigrants, dared to bring up the fear and burdensome psychological and physical realities that they're dealing with. Now he wants her to be deported, and he's rage truthing. Is that what you call it on truth? Social truthing? He's rage tweeting in the middle of the night about one pastor who dared to appeal to his higher angels. It shows you that he will target and go after the smallest or the largest. So I can understand why folks are afraid. But to quote the book Dune, fear is the mind killer. It paralyzes people and makes us do dumb things. And when we look back, I really believe, and maybe it's because I do study some history, that when we look back, those that moved with fear, that allowed themselves to be shut up, that switched sides, will not be viewed kindly by history. Think about the McCarthy era. We view McCarthy as a villain and Paul Robeson as a hero. At least I do. Let's be Paul Robesons. Going to D from Oakland. Good morning.
Morning, Dominique. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm doing well. I got two things to talk to you about today. Number one, I grew up here in the Bay Area, and I remember this show we used to have on KRON4 called Home Turf. You ever heard of it?
I've heard of it.
And y'all down in L.A., if you don't know, that is where Dominique got her start, up here in the Bay Area when she was a very young woman. We're very proud of her. I was very glad to be able to stumble across KBLA on my Alexa app and to hear you every day, Dominique. It is amazing to have watched you grow up and hear you be the woman you are now. That's just from a Bay Area dude.
Oh, thank you for the love. Yeah, that was my television show back in the day, my very first broadcast job that I got as a freshman in college.
Oh, yeah. We remember Home Turf is very well revered for those of us who are a little bit older now, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Chronologically gifted is the term I stole from Tavis.
There you go. There you go. Now, the second thing, you were just speaking about history. And I was thinking about this last night. You know, there could be a lot of doom and gloom about this Trump thing, but I think we've been there before. And if you just think about Newt Gingrich and the contract with America, it feels a lot like Project 2025.
Yeah.
And they're trying to implement this program with popular support. But we all know he's going to have momentum probably for maybe 3 or 4 weeks before things start breaking down. That's what we have to remember. They will initially.
That is a really good point.
They're going to fight like hell with each other in about a month once the other Republicans figure out they're doing things they don't like. So in a way, you know, let's not despair. Let's just keep your eye on C-SPAN, keep your eye on your congressperson, talk to your senators, talk to your local electeds, because that's what's going to make the difference. And as far as Trump coming down there, when, tomorrow you said?
Yeah, he's supposed to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, just dig in. That's all I'll say. Just dig in. I think your electeds will be standing behind him. I don't know if they'll have smiley faces, but they will be welcoming him and thanking him for being there if they're smart.
Yeah, they have to.
So thank you for... Say what?
They have to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is the time. On bended knee, got to kiss the ring, et cetera, et cetera. So, Dominique, thank you for the time. You are still beloved up here in the Bay Area. I'm sorry to hear about your mom a few years ago. I'll never forget that young lady on Channel 4, though. You keep doing your thing. Tavis Smiley, you made a great hire, bro. And this girl is Bay Area, y'all. Yeah, hella Bay Area.
Hella. All right, D, tell a friend, because I know a lot of folks in the Bay think I disappeared. No, I've been on the radio for decades in Southern California, and I'm blessed to be on this mic, and it's great to hear that Bay Area love. But D has a great point. I mean, it's strong now. We're in the honeymoon period, and they're already fighting. Imagine fighting on your honeymoon. That's what they're doing. Vivek Ramaswamy has already been kicked out the House, even though they're saying he went to go run for governor of Ohio. Yeah, he could do both. Elon's supposedly running 3 companies in running Doge. So the infighting has begun, and may it spread quickly, more quickly than a wildfire. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery, embrace the company of family and friends, and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe.
The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful. Hi, this is Patayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. Because the spice comes in at just the right moment. Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Be heard. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
And here we are in a region that has a housing crisis. And now it's worse. I mean, there's just no way around it. And I'm not saying that to be doom and gloom. I'm saying that because we are going to have to really take some unusual measures. Someone was in the chat talking about how Habitat for Humanity can rebuild homes really quickly. And that's probably true. I haven't looked into it. But if you have a family home that's been around for generations and it was a certain size and a certain way, and, you're probably going to want to rebuild it the way you want it if you have the ability to do so. And the other thing is the county is helping people clear those lots to help take away the cost of that. The county, I believe, is doing that. Is either county or state? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe both. But that's a huge cost that will be taken off the families. However, who knows how fast that's going to happen. There's a lot of toxic residue and whatnot. It's almost like a Superfund site. They're going to have to be cleaned up and cleared before folks can build there. So it's not a fast process. And so, meanwhile, and there's a fire burning right now, a new one, threatening the Bel Air area, right? So you got Palisades, Bel Air. These are people with more resources. Not everybody. There's working class people there, some servicing homes, some living in guest houses or whatever. And a lot of people that worked in those areas now out of jobs. But what you do have is you have wealthier folks who are going to be looking to rent, lease, buy. And so they will probably go straight to the nearest areas to them, right? Santa Monica or Palms. And I don't know, I don't know Pasadena, Altadena area well enough to know what those areas are. But so what does that do? Those middle class families then get pushed out. In many cases, they can't compete, even though we are seeing cities and the county moving against price gouging. What do you do if a wealthier person comes along and offers more than what the landlord is asking? because they're desperate for a place to live until their place is rebuilt. And so the middle class moves into the working class areas, and the working class, I don't know. We're going to have to be creative, and hopefully some of us will be willing to rent rooms to friends and family members so they don't have to be driven out, or we can look at putting pressure on the city and state to help finance some of these ADUs so that we can provide housing, because we're already in a super tight housing market. And now the supply is even more pressured, right, by people who have lost their places. LA Times is an interesting article about how the higher end properties are being taken off the market because of the price gouging state laws that won't allow new listings to charge more than $10,000 a month during a state of emergency. Who can afford $10,000 a month in rent? Some people can, actually. And so that means that a lot of these higher end, according to their analysis, a lot of these higher end homes will not be put, their landlords would rather not rent them than rent them to you for $10,000. So that means places that would appeal to the wealthy will be held off the market, because even though the wealthy might be willing to pay more than that $10,000, the state law says they can't charge that during an emergency. So that's another. Sometimes when you pass laws, there are unintended consequences. There needed to be a part 2. You can't charge more than $10,000, and you can't withhold your properties from rent, because again, that adds to the supply. It also, it also means that if you are a renter, you need to stay in your place. I heard there was a rent control advocate talking about that at the BLMLA Fighting Fires and Fascism gathering, who spoke to how, I think she was part of Downtown Crenshaw, she spoke to how you got to hold on to your home, because now landlords know they can get more desperate fire victims looking for housing. So they will try to push you out, code you out, late rent you out. So don't move. If you don't have to move, don't move. Find a way to stay where you are. Don't give up. And that is going to be key, because once you're extracted from that place, it's going to be hard to find a spot in LA at the same price or anything close at this point. So Paul Lee is in the chat asking me about air purifiers, and it's crazy because during COVID, I had this nightmare that, I know we're still in COVID, but during the emergency phase, I had this nightmare that there was a huge rocket that exploded over LA, and there was smoke everywhere, and we couldn't breathe, and we were huddled in our basements, right, trying to avoid the bad air. And when my mom was in the nursing home, really on her deathbed, and those fires exploded in Northern California, they had to put her on oxygen because she was too weak to be able to breathe in the particulate matter and toxins that were in the air. So they had her on an oxygen tank. So those two, talking to my mom on the phone when she was on a tank, and me having that dream made me go and buy air purifiers for my home. And so I recommend it if you can afford it. There are less expensive and more expensive ones. The important thing is to find one, if you can, that has both UV, which kills like bacteria and viral matter in the air, and also particulate filtering, which can be charcoal or some other kind of filtering. So there are air purifiers with dual function. They clean They kill bacteria and many viruses using UV filtering, and they also use something to clear out particulate matter. And, you know, they go from thousands of dollars to maybe under $100. And you can, really, if you can afford it, you put one in every room. And when we're having a fire like this, you run it all day and night. And it does make a difference. I can feel it. I have one in my bedroom running day and night. And when I go into my room, my lungs are happy. That's where I work out right now until further notice. So, and yes, wearing masks is helpful. And doing herbal support. I'm taking mullein every day. You can get it at a health food store, at a Sprouts or anything like that. You can order it online. You can get it at Simply Wholesome if you're in LA. Mullein, you know, drinking peppermint. That's what's in my cup. It ain't coffee. It's peppermint tea. Lung support. These things, taking baths with Himalayan pink salt or baking soda and or Epsom salts to draw those toxins out. They have lovely ones at Napoli Naturals to draw those toxins out of your skin. And lots and lots and lots of H2O. I'm bad at that. Leafy greens and H2O. Because your body is processing some of this air and some of it is going through your skin and even in the water. So we have to flush our systems with leafy greens, you know, Epsom salt or bath salt baths, and lots and lots and lots of water. H2O. You know what that O is in H2O? It's oxygen to oxygenate your blood and your body, every cell. That makes you more resilient. It gives you more eucalyptus oil. Yes, Professor Golden. It makes you more resilient and makes you better able to resist the toxic assault that is coming at us through the air. News, traffic, and sports, and then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. President Trump is defending the almost 1,500 pardons given to defendants charged in connection to the January 6th Capitol attack. In an interview with Fox News, Trump said that most of the